Welcome to the Cryptic Galapagos. You didn't expect that, did you? I am doing another art collaboration video with Winter, the Bracken Bard and Cryptic Galapagos. You might have guessed who I'm creating a concept for this time. The Cryptic Galapagos is a world-building project and future video game created by Matt. The main characters are iguanas, and it is settled in the archipelago of the Galapagos Islands. This world building is so different from my own project Druwides, as the characters are animals native to the Galapagos Islands, and if you have been following me for a while, you know that drawing creatures and animals is not really my strong suit. So, to make things a bit easier for myself, but still challenging, I decided to work on some environment art. I also knew that this decision will be appreciated by Matt himself too, as he's very focused on the character art and some extra environment pieces will benefit him and his project. I wanted to create something that he could enjoy and use for his project, so my expectations for myself were quite up there. After rewatching the Cryptic Galapagos videos and speaking with Matt, we'd settled on one specific clan, the salt-scaled iguanas. If you want some more in-depth lore about this clan, you can find the video up in the right-hand corner and in the description. The salt-scaled iguanas are some of the most technologically advanced clans, able to create complex and beautiful weapons and armor. They live on the Island of Aldar, or Santa Cruz for us humans, and they are the biggest clan of marine iguanas. Something important that sets them aside from other iguanas is malachite stone, an incredible material found deep in the caves that they were able to extract and use to make their weapons and armor. The ones worthy of wearing and wielding malachite are the Malachite Knights, or Mala Knights. They are the protectors of the island and are highly respected. The general look of their cities and living spaces was something that Matt needed to establish yet, so I thought it would be a great idea to help him out in that regard. With some basic information about them, like the fact that they carved their houses in the stone, the presence of a great palace for the elders who guide the clan and the revered Malanites, I set off and began sketching. I always need some kind of base before I start sketching, so I gathered some references of the landscapes of Santa Cruz, the right type of iguanas, and some of Matt's concepts. There was one other aspect to keep in mind, and that is the fact that this clan will most certainly be living near the ocean, which gave me the excuse to practice seaside landscapes, something that I've done just a handful of times in the past. I enjoy the beginning of the process when you just start sketching and you almost let your hand guide you on the canvas. I kept the whole process quite free, beginning with rough sketches and then adding colors in a very painterly style. At some point while working, I decided that instead of presenting one finished and rendered image to Matt, I would prefer to create a sort of package of many concepts. a few environments, some props, maybe an interior. None will be super polished, but they will be real production concepts that could help him guide the overall look for this clan. Throughout the process, I needed to remind especially the scale of these iguanas, meaning how tall they are in comparison to a human being. Scale is very, very important, especially in landscape, but also while drawing some of their buildings, trying to understand how big they should be, how big the entrances, the doors, the windows. The videos from the Cryptic Galapagos were such a great reference for me, especially some of the images where you can see a lot of different types of characters of iguanas. Some of them are even put in reference to human beings, so that was a very, very nice information for me to have and to be able to proceed on these concepts. Doing environment art is definitely different from character art. They both have things that you have to keep in mind, but I feel that sometimes environments have a lot of rules that you have to remember. There's also a lot more elements in an environment, and you can kind of almost lose control of the image if you, for example, give too much importance to maybe elements that are in the background and not the ones that are in the foreground, and they are usually the ones that I will see first if I'm taking a look at this image. Something that I really wanted to add to these environments were those huge iguana head statues. Those are supposed to be ruins, maybe from an ancient civilization. Maybe they were worshipping iguanas, or maybe they were iguanas themselves. That idea actually comes from our latest art swap challenge, when the Bracken Bard did some art for Cryptic Galapagos, and I really loved that so much that I really wanted to push that idea forward and bring it on these environment pieces. It adds a little bit of mystery and history as well to the area. I think it's really striking. I was imagining this rock being quite barren, like a quite naked rock with the sand. Probably has been shaped by wind, by the ocean, so the water as well. But I think that some foliage, some green couldn't be left out of this image. And I had a ton of fun with the foliage brushes on Photoshop and adding a ton of plants and small trees to make the image look very, very lush and alive as well. I mentioned that I really wanted to create more than one concept instead of concentrating on one environment image. So I decided to actually delve a little bit deeper on those iguanas head statues, and seeing some of the reference images where the iguanas chill, or better, like warm up in the sun all together, I thought it would be a great inspiration for a few statues, like all bunched up together. The most difficult part on these was to actually make them look like statues. I had to try and keep the shapes quite simple, because even though these are great statues and sculpted by someone probably very, very skilled, they are still statues, so you can't recognize that they are not actually living iguanas. The added foliage also helped a lot to give that feeling. I decided to add a little bit of maybe malachite dust on the eye of the biggest statue. I thought that would be something that maybe this ancient civilization might do, and it gives a little bit of a magical element which is present in the Cryptic Galapagos. It's not magic that is super obvious, but it's present here and there, and I think this is very subtle and very elegant. I wanted to understand a little bit better how the houses and the buildings of these iguanas are made, and I actually started by sketching an interior, but it wasn't really going anywhere because I didn't had a clear idea of the exterior. So I decided to do that instead, trying to understand a little bit better how these stone carved houses are made. And I remember something that Matt wrote with the references that he sent me about these houses carved from boulders on the beach or on the seaside, seacoast. I really love that, so I immediately started sketching something with that idea in mind. And again, thinking about these rock probably has a very sand-like, maybe some kind of sandstone, so it looks like it was carved again by wind and water. It looks like a living thing. I've added some details to suggest that maybe even this one was part of a old structure, old building with the iguanas statues on the front and this like architrave on the front door. Again, we cannot let out the foliage and the greenery. I wanted to also draw the interior, but sadly I ran out of time. But I'm still very happy that I got to do these concepts as well. I think it really shows the way that they live, and this sort of shape can be changed. This could also be a shop. Imagine if it has a bigger window or a bigger opening on the side. I think it's very, very versatile. Okay, now comes the nerve-wracking part. I am going to show the concept to the guys and see what Cryptic thinks. Nice. So yeah, I put together these basically mood board just to have a general idea, and then I started with some sketches. And this was one of the first one, just to put down an idea. I was also like very intrigued by something that Matt said about the fact that probably their main city is a little bit of a King's Landing. So I was imagining like this very tall rock in which they carved, and they being like very also more advanced technologically in relation to other clans, so they are able to actually build a city and build some buildings using the structures that are already there. And of course I wanted to be close to the sea, but I still wanted to have a little bit of the surrounding islands, have them in maybe like a sort of cove. So I was imagining them selecting a place which is a little bit protective, maybe like easy to defend just in case. Then I was really fascinated by some of the pictures from the island where there is these like rivers that are very close to the sea, and I was then thinking maybe they build one of their cities there, like close to the river, more into like not exactly on the coast, a little bit more on the like internal part of the island. That could be like a secondary settlement. I was just throwing ideas for now, just trying to understand the look, and then this was the first idea that I had.
Whoa.
And I was really inspired by one of the concepts where the Malachi Knights are in this like kind of like war room, and they are having like a council, and I was imagining it being the very like highest peak of this structure, and these like there's an opening to watch probably the open sea, and the rest of the city. Of course I kept things very, very simple at this stage, so all the little like burrows and the little like holes like in the cliff here, they represent houses where the iguanas live. Probably some of the bigger entrances go inside these probably very intricate system of caves inside of the actual cliff. And of course here I was playing with colors and light, and I really wanted to have this kind of almost dreamy atmosphere. And
They could swim there.
yeah, exactly. And as soon as I finished this one, I was thinking the same. Like, I need a vacation here. I want to go there. It looks very, very cool. The next rendition, I added a few more details. And something else that I really liked is the fact that there are probably some ruins and some remains of probably an ancient civilization, and I really liked the idea about these iguana heads sculpted, and I really wanted to put some of them directly into the cliffs. And
Yeah, we have Ross to thank for that one. That was
Yeah,
Ross who implemented
I think
that idea, which I love. That's
yes,
awesome.
it works so well. And like, for example, these ones are a little bit damaged, probably by the, a lot of time has passed. They are ruins, and they are like more in the open, so they got damaged, and all the foliage that grew on top, I think that also gives it a very, I don't know, it always makes it feel cozy for me when I add the foliage. Also adds a little bit of the scale, because I think before it looked maybe like a little bit too big, and I always had to remind myself of the size of the iguanas, and trying to convey that a little bit, talking about scale, but still it's a very majestic city. And I also really like the fact that some of them live directly in front of the beach, I think for easy access to the water, maybe whatever job and craft they do, and they need the access there. And again, like a bigger entrance to the caves, and the probably was the palace inside, and where maybe some of the Malachite knights reside. So this was the main image, but I wanted to do a little bit of exploration on the single elements as well. So I decided to do one concept of these like old
Whoa.
sculptures and old ruins, and
That's sick.
yeah, I really like this one. It was so fun. It was something very different for me. The main thing for me was to try to make it look like it was carved with the stone, and it was very, very well carved. Like, these are very, very nice statues, but they, of course, they are old. Probably these ones, I can see them being in maybe like a part of the city where they have been kept really well, aside from the plants that keep growing on top of them, but the rest, they are not very damaged. Maybe like some part of the bodies are actually like underneath, and the soil just cover them up. And I mean, I wanted to hint to the fact that maybe this statue has a malachite eye, and there's a little bit of a glow there.
Okay.
I don't know. I really like that. Maybe they just used some a little bit of dust, maybe like a residue, something that was left, and made like a actual interior of the eye. I really wanted to understand a little bit better how the houses could look like if they were built maybe like more separate from the actual structure, like maybe other smaller villages and smaller settlements, they tend to carve their houses inside of maybe like these big boulders and big rocks. So I wanted to do one of these places.
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah,
I live there.
Yeah, me too.
That's great.
And again, I was imagining a very old place. This was probably, again, from maybe like an ancient civilization, and then they started using it as a house, and it has some older decoration, and the boulder itself has been like eroded by the sea, by the water, the wind. So it kind of also looks like almost like a wood made of stone. And yeah, I really wanted to see like one of these houses. Maybe they live more than one family. This looks like a pretty big house. But yeah, I had a ton of fun. I really wanted to create, instead of concentrating on just one concept, I really wanted to do a sort of like package and put different ideas to present.
Wow.
And I really wanted to do the interior of this one, but I ran out of time. and I just sketched the what could be the interior of maybe the palace, and I was imagining like this part being water, and they have all these parts like carved and all decorated with the iguana motifs, and this is like water flowing through like one statue.
Yes.
So I could only put down this idea, but I really like it, and I'm really happy that I got to do many different things. So
Yo, that's sick, El. That's so cool.
Yay! Thank you.
I also love that you got this little statue like in a cluster. Like everything is like in clusters, which is usually how they are sitting together all the time anyway. So it's very cool that it's like a little cluster of iguanas, not just one head always.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. I love the house. It's really nailing the vibe I want. It doesn't look like a normal house, but it doesn't. It looks like it's a boulder.
Yeah.
That's not a boulder. It's a rock. You know that meme.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fantastic. It really is nice.
Cheers.
Jeez,
Thank
that's
you.
cool.
Loving all the
stuff.
foliage, like all the rendered foliage all over
Yes.
everything.
Yeah, that was very
Yes,
relaxing
absolutely.
to add, I must say. It was so fun just to play with the, those brushes that you rarely use, and suddenly like, oh, I have an excuse. Let me just play with this.
Yeah.
That's the idea of the collab, is to sort of experiment in general.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm happy that you could. It was this is really nice. I really love the look of this. It's awesome.
Thank you.
It really feels
Thank
like
you
a
so much.
concept. Yeah, it feels like a concept for a game with all
Yes,
the
it
different
does.
like art pieces.
But it is what it
yeah.
is. That is what it is, Ross.
That's exactly what it is.
Yes,
Exactly what it is.
exactly.
Oh, yeah. Very meta,
Oh, yeah.
very on point.
Yeah, that's why
it's
I
amazing,
also.
Albert.
Thank you so much. That's why also I thought about creating more than one thing, because it's like something that you, Matt, can take, and you can go from here, and you can decide maybe I want another direction, or yes, this is it, and it could be of help just to
Sick. I'm
put
smiling
down
ear to ear. It's really cool.
that's fantastic. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it
it's
could be useful, and I'm so happy that you like it, because of course I had moments where I'm like, oh no, this is not enough. No, this is not good. I need to do more. But I'm happy that you're happy and that you guys like it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. It really is nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Go to the first one
yeah.
again. Yeah, this one is also like the thing is what I love about it is I think you nailed the reference that I sent you, because it's not. If you look quickly, it sort of just looks like a very odd-looking mountain. But if you really take a moment to watch it again, you'll see it is actually a structure. Like there's stairs, there's little holes where people can go into. That was the idea, to have it not look man-made, but also not look natural, but just in the middle. So I think you nailed the look of it, and you pulled it through with all the other ones as well. And I love that. So Ross did this whole thing where he added like the head in the corner when he did Finn's concept, and I really like this like gigantic heads. But now I need to write lore around it, because it's so cool. It's sick, you guys. It's your idea. You guys gave me that idea. We're doing it. It's great.
Yeah, I think.
Done, Alva. Sick.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I think the statues and the big heads are a great addition, and I don't know, it adds to the mystery, and I love it.
Yeah, it's very mysterious.
Yeah.
It's very strange. I love it. I can
the
imagine
scale
the Earth
again.
shells doing it as well, like the tortoises, or they do it.
Yep.
Crazy.
I really like that land bridge there that you made.
Yeah.
because
Oh, yes.
you can make out the like the light side of the water on the other side, so that way you know that there's empty space under it
Yeah.
without having to put like, I don't know, the sky behind it. It's a smart way of like tackling that problem.
Yeah, I really like the idea. I think it was in one of the actual like photos from the island, and I really loved that, and I immediately said I need to integrate something like this on one of the concepts, because it's so cool. It makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Again,
And
the
funny-
sense of scale. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Ross, you go.
I was gonna say the sense of scale again. I love, when I'm like flicking through concept art books, I really love the ones where you can tell how big something is, and it's just like
Yes.
super massive, like very like I'm a big Warhammer fan, so I love things that are just way bigger than they could ever possibly be.
Yeah.
I feel like this, like you said, with the natural landscape, kind of the way it's shaped, it almost looks like it could actually, it could fit there, and while still being, very, very big. So, amazing.
Exactly. Fantastic
Oh, thank
work.
you. Thank you so
Big
much.
arts.
Yay! And there you have it, some environments and some props for the salt-scaled iguanas clan. I had a blast doing the concepts for these videos. If you want to watch the full process, especially for the 2 environments, you can actually check them out on my channel, because I did this during the live streams and it was so much fun. I think everyone really loved the coastal scene. I absolutely love doing environments, and doing something like this, which is different from what I usually do. It's such a great opportunity. So thank you so much to Cryptic for trusting me and thank you so much to the Bracken Bard and Winter. I love working on their projects and I cannot wait to actually do something for the next art swap challenge, and I will be doing some concepts for the acceleration, which is Bracken Bard's project, which has humanoid animals. So I'm cooked, guys. I am sure I will have a ton of fun. I cannot wait. I hope you had a good time too, watching this video and seeing my process and hearing my thoughts. Make sure to check out the video from our previous art swap challenge, where I did a character for Winter's project, Coppervale. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, leave a like, leave a comment if you want. All of that helps my channel a lot. You can also follow me on my socials, and we also have a Druwides Discord server. If you want to support my project even further, you can either become a member of the YouTube channel, or I have an Etsy shop and you can buy some products from me. I currently have some stickers and some bookmarks, and I'm planning to update the shop more and more with the new products in the future. All the links are in the description. That being said, thank you all so much, and I will see you in the next video.